very inconsistent in a lot of ways, and because of the trauma I had experienced, it was really, really difficult for me to really find any real stability with anything. But the things I had taken interest in and the skills that had caught my attention, the safe house made provision for me to be able to catch up on those skills, catch up on those interests, and it just made life better altogether for me. Sitting on the balcony, just taking in the fresh air, enjoying music on my phone, catching up on movies, local news, all of that. Oh, and eating really good food. It was such a good experience. It's one that just really set me up for what was important for me. It sort of like helped me refocus what my priorities are, At the time, things were far from consistent in my life. I had been plagued with a lot of mental health issues, a lot of pain that came with the trauma I had experienced, one way or the other. But finding a safe house was something that turned what was a normally chaotic way of life for me into something consistent, into something conducive. I came to the safe house as part of a safekeeping decision by the BBC after participating in a documentary that shed light on TB Joshua, the cult of TB Joshua.
He wanted to be the biggest, best, the most important pastor in the world.
I have been raised as TB Joshua's daughter.
I knew the child, Ajoke, right from birth.
She's his actual daughter, his biological daughter, with another woman outside of wedlock.
He doesn't seem to like her very much.
Ajoke grew inside the synagogue like an outcast.
I think he wanted to keep her a secret. I don't think he wanted anyone to know who she was. The message about Ajoke was that she had terrible evil spirits that needed to be driven out. There was a time in the disciples' meetings, he said that people could beat her. Anyone in the female dormitory could just hit her, and I saw people just walking in, just slapping her as they walked past.
Ajoke, little thing, you see somebody slap her.
To be honest, integrating back into society, especially after such a big story, came with a lot of uncertainty. And I believe very strongly that the most important parts of the assistance I received was the calm that came with that environment, to be able to think and really, really say to myself, okay, what are the next steps I really want in my life? What new big changes do I have to make? What small changes do I have to make? What are my short-term goals? What are my long-term goals? And all of those things came into the picture for me. To be very honest, I did not go into the safe house with any expectations. But I went into the safe house with a lot of gratitude, especially coming from where I was coming from. I believe that a lot of things we want that we believe are very external have to start from the internal, and that's from us. And so the safe house gave me the opportunity to do that, to refocus. My interest on books grew, being provided with books to read just meant that my knowledge was getting more and more broader in the subjects I was interested in. Being in the safe house was something that really set me on the path to finding myself all over again and just aiming for new things. out here in the UK comes with new expectations. You are met with a completely new environment. You are met with people with different ideas. You are met with people from like different walks of life, different countries, different religions, whatnot. But part of the things I enjoy today is the joy that came with the environment that really helped me get a grasp of the things that were most important to me. I'm presently not in the safe house, but I can guarantee that that's an experience that shifted where I was mentally at the time and emotionally. And to be surrounded by people who were committed to my growth on different fronts just made it much easier to navigate the next phase of my life. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to have been in the safe house, for the opportunity to have experienced care and concern that in turn made me positive, that in turn made me happy. One very important thing I must mention is that the safe house provided me with a psychologist that was working with me at the time and helping me realign and find my roots back to where mistakes had been made and who I want to be in today's world. So I'm really, really grateful for the opportunity to have been in the safe house, and it's always going to be from a place of gratitude that I talk about the safe house.
Basically, I just need to adjust for the safety of myself, my family, loved ones, and everyone around. And as the name implies, it's a safe house, which is very safe for me to stay. Safe. Thank God for the internet. I have the opportunity to speak to friends and family, but it has been a safe house. And the way I've been coping, I've always been an introverted person, so I have no problem staying alone. When I wake up, I pray, I read my Bible, I listen to my Bible a lot. And also one thing I do is I read books. Like if you check my room, you see some books that I've been able to cover it and some books I'm still reading. So normal day routine. And also I go into phone conversations, I call friends, families, and also I check on the internet for some like sport updates because I'm a big sport fan, and also some political news to catch up of what is happening around the world. And also YouTube is one of my favorite internet social media that I engage with just to get further education, because I'm still big on going back to the educational world. So that's my normal routine every day. It may seem boring, but I think it's also building something in me. The ability, the resilience, the ability to be patient, and I think the safe house has provided me that opportunity. Like I've discovered a lot of things about myself, how I can be more patient, and also some things about my character to also be enduring. After the BBC had the documentary on the 8th of January, there's been a lot of backlash, but we were brought, and I used we because myself and another lady that was part of the documentary were brought, her name is Ojoke, we were brought here to this country, to the safe house from the 4th of December, so that we can be safe when the documentary is being aired. It's mentioned the cult of TB Joshua. It's a documentary about TB Joshua, a Nigerian prophet, about the life that is not known publicly. Because of the documentary I was part of, you've exposed a big figure. You're no longer safe to move as usual. You always want to move. And I was trying to make a plan to further my education. So this has truly made a break in that part and has put me in a confinement. Growing up, I've always been a person that has been brought in the way of not to fear. And after knowing what I know about the person in which I decided to tell the truth, I decided a lot of people find it difficult to gain that courage and that boldness to tell the truth. Now, one of my best motivation for being a part of this documentary was to let out the truth. My motivation was not for fame, it was not for money, and that's one of the reasons why there was no exchange of money for the documentary. My number one motivation was to let out the truth, because I believe that basically many popular people only have their lives on TV. People don't know their life behind TV. And I felt that because of many young people have been marginalized and be truncated by their experience with predators like this. So I felt that the best I can do to help is to expose it so that people don't become victims of people like this. So yeah, and the photo is when I was 17-year-old, because not only was I born in Squan, I also got the opportunity to work as a cameraman in the year 2011 when I was 17, and from 2011 to 2019. So I worked, not only was I a 5-story brother, I was also in the camera department in the Squan. I don't think that people have come to the realization or support those who speak the truth. And everybody, like a very good example, why is it that after the documentary we are getting threats, even from close friends, also people that we trusted or from the same community? So I believe that the people have not woken up to the realization that even many of their own families are victims, but will be afraid to speak up because they know the backlash they will get from their own community people. So basically my family, I've been able to connect with them through the internet. We speak daily, on daily basis, and everybody's just concerned about my safety, which because of they are being able to communicate with me every day, they could realize that I'm safe daily. Like everyone who have met me could obviously tell that whoever has brought up the idea of the safe house is a great person, because the safe house has really helped me in a very fantastic way. I'm so glad for what I've done, and it has rejuvenated me as a Christian, as my faith. Like it has told me that there is reward for telling the truth. Having been in the safe house, reflected on my life, I can't wait to be in the society and to help others, to strengthen them. So to answer the question, I believe that my time in the safe house has been so helpful mentally, emotionally, and also physically. Like, to be honest, this is the first time in the past 6 months, June, that I've not been sick. Yeah, this is the first time in the past 6 months. Since 2019, I've not had sickness. I feel it's also a reason for my faith, but you should know that I've been in the best condition. And the safe house has really helped me. People will speak truth because they know that they are going to be safe after speaking the truth. So I will do it again and again. And when I mean again and again, that I tell them the truth. But I'm going to do it with some certain condition, knowing that life after whatever expose I've done will be safe. Not for myself alone, but for my family, and also for future generations coming out to speak. Without the system of a safe house, I feel threatened and advise that nobody speaks. Because without the system of a safe house like this, like organizations like WAJSIC, giving people like myself, whistleblowers and journalists, the opportunity to speak out, I think nobody should open their mouth to speak. Because people will speak when they feel that there is a safe landing. And I mean safe landing, that is, there's a safe organization like WAJSIC that will give you the opportunity to be safe in a safe house. I'm so optimistic about the future. I just believe that from here, after the safe house, I get an opportunity to continue my education, especially away from the source of my immediate environment, where I can be able to rejuvenate and get back into the society and into the system.
Nothing much. I only read and walk. That's the thing that keeps me interesting. And it has been 2 months today, because I arrived on the 30th of March. I have a fiancé and a child, but I try to communicate with them every day. That is what keeps me going. This is my first time being in the safe house, in a shelter like this. It's far away from the South African government and people that who wanted to assassinate me, who were threatening me. I feel safe in the safe house. I don't have a normal life. I don't do things that I used to do before. Now it is a total shutdown in my profession and everything that I was doing. I totally can't do anything because it will put me in a great danger. Should I be in contact with my government and the Secret Service? I get bored a lot. End up being stressed, depressed, because you are stuck in one place. You can't explore anything, you can't get a job. Stress-wise, I do get sick. I'm still attending to a psychology and a psychiatrist related to this stress thing. My fiance is expecting again. Is expecting a child in 2 months or so. It affects me a lot. On that one, I can't cope very well. My only thing that makes me cope is always being in contact with her. The expose I did was on the torture in the army and the matters that happened in the Secret Service, where people were assassinated, political assassinations, and robbery. It was on the news, on Mnet, on the newspapers, and there was an article written by Henny Van Vieren, the Russian dolls, that documented everything from the start. The involvement of South African government with Russia and everything, and all the corrupt details surrounding it. 2 occasions I was kidnapped, tortured, poisoned, and my family was threatened twice, and the police and the special force went to my family house, ransacked the place looking for documents, and the second time they went and took their phones just to check if they are not in communication with me. The only thing for me to go back to South Africa, it's the possibility are too slim, because the matter involves people in parliament, high people, high-ranking generals, so the chances are too slim for me to go back to South Africa, unless if I go and stay in the other country. The South African government on whistleblowers, it's not as protective. It's not as protective, and they are careless when coming to whistleblowers. And when you go to them for protection, the very same Secret Service that is having problem is the one that's going to protect you. The very same corrupt government are the one who are going to authorize for your safety and security. It's unclear on my side currently, because I don't know what happens, what is next going to happen. But as soon the matter can be in court, then I can resume my normal life. My main concern is my fiancé and my daughter, because even now she's pregnant, expecting to deliver in 2 months or so, and she's far from me in another country, not South Africa. That has become a challenge to me. No regret of what I did, but I regret that of the things that were happening in the Secret Service. That's the thing that I'm regretting, that made me ending up being here. For exposing them, I don't regret at all. I regret being involved in some of the illegal things that we were tasked to do in the Secret Service. The organization that brought me here is Bluff and Open Secret. Everything is it's safe here. No one should be scared to whistleblow, to speak the truth and be open and have evidence and everything that has happened. Yes, everything is good.